Hey there, it's Gabe from Pre-Nursing Smarter. Thanks so much for joining me here today. Let's do a T7 English practice test. This is the last section of the T's you'll take, and in my opinion, it's one of the easier sections to actually increase your score in a short amount of time. Of course, there is some studying you'll need to do. If you want to do these T7 practice questions right now, you can go ahead and grab them on my website, but let's go ahead and get started. Question number 1. I like chocolate, it tastes good. Which of the following best describes this sentence? A, simple, B, compound, C, comma splice, D, fragment. I like chocolate, it tastes good. This is a comma splice. Comma splices are not grammatically correct, and it's when you have two independent clauses or two complete sentences separated only by a comma, and a comma isn't strong enough to separate two independent clauses. Your first clause is I like chocolate, subject I, verb like. What do I like? Chocolate, that's my complete thought. Then I have another independent clause, it, subject, tastes, verb, good, complete thought. In order to fix this, you could put a period here, you could put a semicolon here, or you could also put a coordinating conjunction. So you could have I like chocolate, comma, and it tastes good. I like chocolate, period. New sentence, it tastes good. I like chocolate, semicolon, it tastes good. So I already mentioned a little bit about coordinating conjunctions. Let's do question number 2. Coordinating conjunctions are typically found in which types of sentences? This is a select all, simple, compound, complex, compound complex. Coordinating conjunctions are typically found in which types of sentences? They are found in compound and compound complex. This might sound really confusing, and you're like, well, what is this lady talking about right now? But I promise this is one of the best topics to know for the T's, is being able to define simple, compound, complex, and compound complex sentences. A day of studying this and then some practice with this, you will do much better on the T's. And I have a whole other YouTube video that I will link to that describes this idea. So coordinating conjunctions are also called fanboys. That stands for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. And they work in compound sentences with commas. So in this example here, I like chocolate, comma, and it tastes good. That is a compound sentence. And then a compound sentence with a complex sentence, or compound complex, that would also have a coordinating conjunction with a comma to separate two clauses. This is a little tricky, I know, but you can't get a high score on the T's without knowing this concept. I'll link to some resources to help you understand this better. But let's keep going and practice. Question number 3. Which of the following sentences is correctly punctuated? This is a one-answer question. A. The students had 2 goals in mind, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again. B. The students had 2 goals in mind, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again. C. The students had 2 goals in mind, to pass the TEAS, and to never think about it again. D. The students had 2 goals in mind, pass the TEAS and never think about it again. Which of the following sentences is correctly punctuated? The answer is A. The students had 2 goals in mind, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again. Why is that? When you have a colons often announce something that comes after it. So this is announcing their goals, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again. And a complete sentence or independent clause must be before the colon. We do have a complete sentence before the students, subject. They had, that's the verb. And what did they have? 2 goals in mind. So that is a complete sentence there. This colon is announcing what those 2 goals are, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again. Why isn't there a comma before this and? It's because the 2 phrases here, to pass the TEAS and to never think about it again, neither of those are complete independent clauses. To pass the TEAS has no subject. Who's passing the TEAS? I hope you are. but it's not clear who the person is. I hope it's you. I hope it's everybody. To never think about it again. I also hope that's you, but it's not specified here. So because there's no actual independent thought of a subject for a complete thought, it's just a phrase to pass the TEAS. There doesn't need to be a comma here because this comma would only work with an independent clause, and then it would be a compound sentence. All right, let's do question number 4. Each of the questions blank difficult. So this is a one-answer question. Each of the questions A was difficult. Each of the questions B were difficult. C, each of the questions am difficult. D, each of the questions can difficult. You're probably thinking it's between A or B. Each of the questions was difficult. Each of the questions were difficult. The answer is A. Each of the questions was difficult. You might be thinking, wait a second, there is an S on questions, therefore it's plural, therefore it's were. Why is it was? It's because of this word each. Each is a tricky subject, and I have a whole lesson in my online TEAS prep program to go over what these tricky subjects are. But real quick here, each is always singular. It's referring to one. Then you have a prepositional phrase of the questions. Because you have this each, you can essentially ignore this prepositional phrase. Grammatically, it doesn't matter. It's not there. So each was difficult. Each is a special, tricky noun that is always singular. You ignore the prepositional phrase, and it needs to be was, which is a singular past tense verb. This right here will really help you with your TEAS score. You're probably going to see at least one, maybe two English questions that are using these tricky subjects where they might be always singular. Maybe there's a prepositional phrase. Maybe it's a collective noun. And you need to pick if it's singular or plural. Question number 5. Rhino indicates which region of the body. This is a one-answer question. A, eye. B, nose. C, mouth. D, chin. Rhino indicates which region of the body. This is the nose. You might have heard of rhinoplasty. That's a nose job. Rhinorrhea, that's a runny nose. It's good to recognize some common prefixes and suffixes. So prefixes come at the beginning, suffixes come at the end of medical terminology and different root words. You might see them on the TEAS, and it's also great to know if you're going to go into the medical field. Question number 6. Subordinating conjunctions are typically found in which types of sentences? This is a multiple select option. Simple, compound, complex, compound complex, not these words again, right? Subordinating conjunctions are typically found in which types of sentences? Complex and compound complex sentences have subordinating conjunctions. There are 2 types of conjunctions you'll need to know for the TEAS English section. Coordinating, those fanboys, for and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Or subordinating conjunctions, which are often since, because, as, once. Subordinating conjunctions are in complex sentences, by extension, compound complex sentences. So if you see a subordinating conjunction, it's probably a complex sentence. Question 7. Which of the following sentences are punctuated correctly? This is a multi-select answer option. She paused before delivering the news, colon, it's not cancer, capital it's. She paused, comma, before delivering the news, dash, it's not cancer, lowercase it's. Before delivering the news, comma, she paused, period. It's not cancer, comma, she said, with a capitalized it's. She paused before delivering the news, period. She said, comma, it's not cancer, capital it's. Which of the following sentences are punctuated correctly? There's a few of them. Boop, boop. There we go. Right. So we have 3 sentences that are correctly punctuated here. She paused before delivering the news, colon, it's not cancer, capitalized the I in its. This works because of the idea that colons announce, and it's announcing the quote of what she said. It also has a complete independent clause before the colon, she subject, paused verb, before delivering the news, complete thought. Then she delivers the news, it's not cancer. And this is correctly punctuated because it's a new sentence that she's saying, so we have the quotes around it, and then it's not cancer is the sentence. She paused, comma, before delivering the news, dash, it's not cancer. This is actually a hyphen, excuse me, because it's only one slash. This is not a typical way to introduce a quote. You could maybe do it with a dash, which is longer. This is too short. There also shouldn't be a comma here. And it should be capitalized. Before delivering the news, comma, she paused. This comma here works as an introductory phrase. And then right before the clause, we have she, the subject, paused. So this comma here indicates extra information, and that's an okay way to use a comma. She paused. It's a complete thought here. Then we start a new sentence. It's not cancer, comma, she said. This is another way to properly do a quotation. There are several ways to do a quotation. It's great to know all of them. This one we have the comma again inside the quotation marks. And we have a lowercase she because it's not a part of a sentence that she's saying. This is just the signal phrase here to indicate that this sentence here is a quote. She paused before delivering the news. You'll notice that this doesn't have a comma here. Grammar is tricky. This works. And this is a sentence. And then we have she said, comma, it's not cancer. This also works as a sentence. We have our signal phrase here to introduce the quote, a comma before the quote, and then a capital it's, and then a period to indicate what the quote is. Question 8. Which part of speech best describes she? This is a single select answer. A, adjective. B, subjective pronoun. C, objective pronoun. D, possessive pronoun. Which part of speech best describes she? It is a subjective pronoun. Subjective pronouns are often subjects of the sentence. They can take the place of a name like Anna or Abigail. And they can start a sentence. So she paused before delivering the news. This she is a subjective pronoun. Number 9. In a compound sentence, which type of punctuation is paired with a coordinating conjunction? This has one answer. A, period. B, semicolon. C, comma. D, colon. In a compound sentence, which type of punctuation is paired with a coordinating conjunction? The answer is comma. Commas, coordinating conjunction, compound sentences, they all have C's, they all go together. A comma, coordinating conjunction, compound sentence. And again, do you remember what those coordinating conjunctions are? They're also called fanboys, for and nor, but, or yet so. Question 10. Which of the following is an adjective? This question has one answer. A, culpable. B, culpably. C, capabilities. D, capability. Which of the following is an adjective? The answer is B, culpably. That ly ending is a clue that it's probably an adjective. A lot of adjectives end in ly. Question 11. Which of the following words refers to the toes? This is a one-answer question. A, polydactyl. B, orthopedic. C, hyperdipsia. D, dysphagia. Which of the following words refers to toes? A, polydactyl. This dactyl area says toes and poly says many. Question 12. Which of the following nouns are singular? This is a multi-select answer option. Crisis, locus, larvae, ovum. Which of the following nouns are singular? Crisis, locus, ovum. These are irregular, singular nouns. It's a little tricky. I do have a full list of these done for you in my TEAS prep program. These are great to memorize. I know it's a little tricky. You'll probably see at least one question on irregular, singular, or plural nouns on the TEAS English test. Question 13. Which of the following correctly uses the prefix self? This is a one-answer question. A, self-esteem. B, self-esteem. C, self-esteem. D, self-esteem altogether. Which of the following correctly uses the prefix self? This is B, self-esteem with a hyphenated word. Knowing some of these rules for prefixes and suffixes is a little time consuming, but again, it's great to know for the TEAS. Self is a popular one, how self can show up as a prefix. Not every prefix is hyphenated. Question 14, what does stomato refer to? This is a one-answer question. A, stomach. B, mouth. C, throat. D, fruit. What does stomato refer to? The answer is B, mouth. And this is that medical terminology, but it's great for memorization. Just repeat a little bit every day. If you're looking to start studying for the TEAS and you need a passing score, I definitely recommend starting with those comma rules, independent clauses, simple, compound, complex sentences, and really understanding that. If you need a score that's above an 80 or a 90 and you're really looking for a very competitive TEAS score, really starting to study this medical terminology, prefixes and suffixes, it's a little more time consuming, but it will help you boost that score up into that really competitive range. Question 15. Being a part of this ecosystem is so fulfilling. I love the synergy among departments as we push toward our revenue projections. End quote. Which of the following best describes the word choice in this sentence? This question has one answer. A, formal. B, academic jargon. C, business jargon. D, slang. Which of the following best describes the word choice for this sentence? This is business jargon. For the TEAS test, it's great to know formal and informal language, jargon and slang, and being able to recognize them. I hope this TEAS practice test helps you. Again, if you need more help with the TEAS English section, I'll link to this quiz on my website, and I also have a whole bunch of other TEAS practice questions for math, science, English, reading, all the sections of the TEAS. If you enjoyed this video and like my teaching style, please be sure to check out my comprehensive TEAS prep program. I have everything you need to succeed on the TEAS. Good luck with your TEAS prep, and thanks so much for being here. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.